having said that, let's get over to the positives for this stuff, and let's kind of take a look and see what this team did on Saturday. I'm going to slow some of this film down, show you what they're doing, show you what's happening with our guys. This is going to be real fun for me. Looked at these plays a lot. This first one is the pass to Donovan. So Donovan's on the top end of the line there, and he is just crushing this block, by the way. Okay, so watch him. He's just going to crush this defensive end. He's going under the ground, and now he's going to go out for a pass. Connor's rolling out. Going to sidearm it a little bit to Green, and then he's just going to take this another, 20 yards down to the 10. Great play. Kind of swing back and look at a few other things. Sometimes you see things that are going on that aren't directly in your purview, but this design play makes the linebackers think that it's a run, and so they crash up. They definitely don't think Donovan's going out for any kind of pass. The top side backer, he drops backer as probably a nickel or something like that. And it just completely clears out the way. This is a great designed play by our coaches. It makes it easy on our offensive line because they're just down blocking the entire way, the opposite way. And all they got to do is bunch things up and make it crowded and complicated. So there's not really a whole lot that they're going to actually need to beat, one-on-one. And they just make it easy to complete that pass right there. Very simple, but well executed, just like Jimbo's been looking for. This shows me that we have made a few adjustments here as well. Max is out, so he's not playing tight end for us. We've been looking for Donovan Green to be effective this year, and this is what this guy can do. He's doing it as a freshman. Great blocker, great catcher, and after the catch, he's just as dynamic. So we got this guy. I think his head's screwed on right as well, so that's a big deal. We know how frustrating that's been. Let's take a look at the next go-around. So what we got here again is kind of a heavy set, right? This time Blake Smith's in 11 personnel, and he's playing tight end on the other side of Zune over there. What we're getting ready to do here is we're going to throw this to Preston, and he's the inside receiver on the top 3 up there. Right now, Connor is probably reading zone. That's what I think he's reading right now. You got the safety over the top, and so he's thinking, well, he's probably taking the deep third, something like that. And then what he's going to do is he is going to read that end, and he's going to see if this guy crashes or if he drops back in coverage. If he crashes, then it's going to open up that lane inside, which he does. Preston knows where the zone is, and he's going to go inside. Weigman delivers a strike on a day that's extremely hard to throw. Wet football, cold. He just looked like he was just kind of shot putting it most of the day because it was so hard to hold on to the ball. Again, nice growth here. Let's watch the offensive line here. So we got Blake and Zune, or Smith, I should say, and Zune. And the top side, not the guy standing, but kind of like the nose tackle right there is where Zune and Smith are going to concentrate on. And they're just going to crush this guy. He's their best defensive lineman. That's 42. They point him out a lot throughout this entire piece here. Watch them. They're just going to crush him. And that's where we've been needing help. Zune has been needing a little bit of help. And so they put on the double team, run the fake RPO to the other side. Now, again, look back at this. We're throwing a pass here, right? This is a pass the entire way. Watch what the offensive line does. Do they form a pocket? No. They run block, and it brings those linebackers up. They think we're running. So it opens up that entire middle of the field. Again, great design. Preston takes it, does his thing. Glad to see him get a catch. He's doing a really good job. So let's back it up here a little bit. All right, next play. We got, I think again, we're going, 11 personnel. So we're running tight end on every single one of these plays so far, which I think has been a big deal. We'll get a little bit extra protection. You saw Donovan blocking on the first one. This is going to be a very interesting example of some things we're going to need to get better at. Now, let me show you the whole thing first off. So they get a guy loose. Who is that? Who is that? 42. It's their best defensive lineman. Oh, let's pop back. He gets loose. He's coming up on Connor. Connor uses his feet, steps up, and then basically just takes it the rest of the way for the first down and uses his legs. I mean, we've been missing this. We've missed it all year. Somebody that can really make some waves with their feet, get us out of trouble when we get into trouble. Now, here's what happened. First off, a couple things to note. I want to show you the wide receiver at the bottom of the screen. I think this is Preston down here. And then you got, I think, Donovan Green at the bottom left, tight end coming out. Now, this is what's going to be basically a rub route. So Preston's going to run inside and underneath Donovan. The idea is that Donovan and the guy guarding him would basically pick this route for Preston, which would basically block the cornerback's pathway so that he couldn't stay on Donovan. But watch how much of a gap's there. I mean, the cornerback's pathway to stay on 5 is just obvious. He's just going to stay straight there. There's no way to, no one got in his way to redirect him or anything like that. I'm going to show you a difference later on when we have Noah Thomas's touchdown. Very different, but it was a different scheme also from the defense. One of the things that made this easier for UMass is because that cornerback's playing up on Preston, so he had a little bit more direct line to stay on. Now, left guard, Dewberry, he's on 42, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to see because I can't get a great camera angle, but hand placement's a big deal. Now, they engage right there, and 42's arm placement is inside Dewberry's. So he's got leverage, and as soon as Dewberry takes a step back, he pulls him down. So he really used his leverage that he had, and because of Dewberry's hand placement, he didn't have the leverage that he needed to weather that storm. So just a couple things we can clean up there. Something that's going to be integral. Dewberry's a young guy, and he's got some phenomenal potential. So don't think that this is going to be any type of marking on what's going to happen to him long term. He's stepped up and done as best he could. But again, it speaks to the youth that's on this team and how much of a struggle it's been because of this. So once he gets some experience and gets those snaps under his belt and is able to practice his craft and become expert at it, he's going to be a beast that I am sure of. Zune does a really nice job too, getting his guy to go wide. He's had some trouble keeping up with the outside rush like that. But he does a really good job there, so I just want to point that out too. Very much of a progressive game for Zune. All right, let's jump over the next clip here. What do you see? All right, what do you see? 3 wide receivers down low, tight end on the far side. Got 11 personnel again. So we're going to be able to get a little bit extra protection if we need it. Now, it's going to be difficult to see, but you've got Thomas on the far, or the very lowest receiver there. Moose is the second from the bottom, and they're actually going to do this rub route. Now look at the difference in the cornerback this time. So their cornerback's playing 10 yards off. Thomas is going to go inside underneath Moose. Now what's that cornerback going to do? He's either going to have to come up and try and go under Moose as well, or he's going to have to go on top of that and then come back down, which again forms the natural pick. So watch it happen. It's just going to be very difficult to see at the bottom of the screen. So you can see Thomas's helmet there, and Moose comes inside. Thomas goes underneath, and so where's that cornerback? He's nowhere close to being on Thomas right now because he's just been basically picked. Now look right there. Noah, look how wide open Noah is. That's what you can do schematically with these guys. I mean, it's an excellent play to have drawn up. Actually, I mean, this is, again, you don't have to really draw these up. You don't have to get real creative. These are just things that we ought to be doing on a regular basis to get our, easy ways for our guys to get open. He takes it the length. Now look at Moose down here just dogging this guy. He's blocking 20 yards down the field. That's a guy that we need on this team. He's a pass catcher. He's a blocker. He's in everything. He's a real dude. Now let's get back over here, though, because here's the thing, and here's where we've been having so much trouble, because our offensive line has done so poorly that we can't give our quarterback enough time to throw, and he can't then distribute to our skill guys. So it's a big problem. It's an inside-out problem, and until we get that offensive line secured, we're going to continue to have this problem. But watch how the guys work on this one. So guy goes inside on Dewberry. He lets him go, picks up the guy coming on this outside. See, I told you Dewberry's going to be, he's going to be a guy. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He knows what's going on. I don't think 42's in on this play. Let's go back and watch that offensive line engage one more time. But you can see him just kind of bottlenecking him in the middle. Zune goes outside again. Again, had a really nice game from him. Pushes that guy wide. He doesn't even have a chance. So he's getting better. He's getting better. And Noah Thomas, again, whew. I think we're going to see a little bit more of this guy moving forward, especially if, depending on what Chris Marshall's future is going to end up like. We shall see. All right, let's jump over to the next play. Final play. This is essentially 22 personnel. So we've been doing 11. This one's 22. That's Preston on the bottom side of the screen there. Now, he is a wide receiver, but he's going to come in and effectively be a tight end. And then we have a tight end on the far end. Two backs this time, and we are under center. Okay? And I saw UAB actually run this play, very similar play against LSU this last weekend, who we're playing next week. And they did basically the same thing against LSU. So here's what they're going to do. And Preston comes inside. Okay, now watch Zune and Dewberry just go to work. These guys are going to plow a field. All right, bottom side of your screen, both of them going to get that double team. And watch where they end up with that guy. They're basically blocking two guys at this point now. They got him behind the other guy. And they've basically formed a line right there. They got a tunnel going on. Now Preston stays on the edge guy trying to come in. Oh, it's a little bit tight. But Crownover's coming in, and he sees him kind of, he's got a little bit of light from that guy. And so he pops him real nice, making that hole for Le'Veon to run on through. Fitting play. 22 personnel for number 22. Ooh, Moss is going to be nice. Moss is going to be real nice. Yes, sir. So what'd you think? What do you think about these guys? It's kind of encouraged. I don't want to get too optimistic about this. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid right now all the way. I can see it off in the future, as I hope you probably can too. But I need to see more. I do. I need to see more, and I hope I see more. I hope it's Jimbo. I want it to be Jimbo. I think he, I think he wants it as well. Just going to have to do a few more things. Does he have the right guys? Does he need an OC? How about a kick game coordinator? When we saw how integral that was in the TCU versus Baylor game, right? So able to get a squad out there in like 12 seconds, get a field goal kicked and everything else. So we probably need to go spend some money there before we think about everything else and do whatever we can basically for the next 2 years. Because in 2025 we need to have our stuff together. Not sure what the outlook is for next year. Sky's the limit still, but it depends on how fast guys can learn and how fast we can adjust. So that's the thing. LSU coming up this weekend, post-Thanksgiving game, Maroon out game. Looking forward to this one. Like to get out on a win, wouldn't you? Especially against LSU, man. They've really given us some hard times, especially when their coaches are on their way out. So preview coming up later this week, hopefully by tomorrow. and this will be the final one of the year. So I'm going to start off by start this early. Appreciate y'all joining me for the entire year, and yeah, it's been one hell of a ride, has it not? So we'll see where we end up, see what this team wants to do on the tail end, because it'll be the last game of the year. I expect an inspired team, let's put it that way. All right, so we'll see you later this week. Thanks. Gig 'em.